What's up, y'all? It's your boy Parag. You know what I'm saying? Welcome back. Hard challenge. It is day 20, and usually I be sitting down. Today, no, I'm standing up, feeling good. Today was a hard up. Woke up today at like 6, and I'll usually when I wake up, I just walk out. I walk out and I do my walk. I still did the walk. However, I was in bed for like 10 minutes before I actually went out. I was dead. Tell my new viewers or y'all that didn't watch the video from yesterday, I played basketball from like 7:30 to 10. My legs are fried. Did not do leg day today. It was chest and shoulders, hence the shirt, hence me being topless. Now I'm saying, if you want to skip to the workout, right over here, but I highly advise y'all to stick around because we are reading a new book today. We finished the Zen Mind book yesterday. Today we're gonna be talking. My hair is a mess. I need to get a haircut for real. We are gonna be reading a book about emotions, and trust me, when it comes to emotions, I'm all about that. Anyways, before we get into that, let's get into the breakfast for today. Oatmeal, a scoop, and 1/4. I'm like lowering the amount of carbs because I'm trying to lose some. Like, right now, I look pretty good, you know what I'm saying? Not really. Just trying to lose fat. Anyways, we got a scoop and a quarter of oatmeal. Then we got teaspoon of coffee beans in that bit, some light. Then we got scoop of protein powder. Milk, obviously milk. 1 spoon of peanut butter. And that was it. Stir it all up. And then on the side, we got a variety of some fruits. And they're all fruits, right? I think. Avocado. Obviously, it's good. It has good fats, fiber. It's yummy. We got an apple. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. And then finally, we had a kiwi. And y'all may be thinking, yo, Parag, how come the skin is still up? Guys, I'm telling you, if you don't do it, guys, eat the kiwi with the skin on. I've been doing it. It's really good. Not only is it like a more furry texture in your mouth. I don't know if you like that, but I do. Pause. But it's more fiber. So your shits go out the... It goes more smoothly. We always start off the video with a question of the day based off this book, 404 Laws of Peace. Yesterday it was what do you value most in life? Next question. How much time do you waste on things you dislike? What are they? I ain't gonna lie. I would probably say one thing would probably just be like doom scrolling. I catch myself doing that a lot of the time. Like this morning, prime example, I woke up, usually I'm out of bed, I'm out the door, but no, I was doom scrolling for maybe like 5-10 minutes and then I went. And even on my walk, I was kind of doom scrolling here and there. Obviously not when crossing a street, but just like in general, when I'm just walking straight and there's no street crossing involved, I'm doom scrolling. Or I'm reading manga. If you guys are probably wondering, oh my god, Parag, what manga are you reading? Right here. I Get It In My Life. I think it's what it's called. It's pretty good. It's about like a prosecutor. Anyways, aside from that, I would say doom scrolling. Yeah, I think doom scrolling is probably like the biggest one. I'm not gonna lie. I think other than that, that's probably like the biggest one in my opinion. Cause like I'd be doing it anywhere. I'd be like taking a shit. About a shower, bro. I turn on the water and I get in the shower and I get my body wet, but I'm holding one phone like these, like while I'm scrolling. It's crazy. So I would definitely say that. Hey, comment down below what you dislike doing most. That's wasting your time. Because let's be honest, we all have one. Most of the time it's doom scrolling, but who knows? Anyways, guys, the end of love. All right, honestly. The thing is, like, this book is this is actually like a book, you know what I'm saying? So we're only gonna be reading 5 pages because back and forth, if you think about it, it's equal 10. But not only that, guys, if I read more than if I read 10 a day, these videos are gonna get mad long for no reason. And honestly, I'm thinking of putting more effort into editing the videos, or at least trying to, because I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it's boring. Okay, we're starting off with I skipped the intro because let's be honest, ain't nobody trying to read a goddamn intro for a book. Let's be for real. All right, sorry, I'm trying to press you. My teeth look mad white. No, it's not. It's yellow. Okay. Love as freedom. Love, the quintessentially functional emotion, paradoxically contains a fragment of the vast and complex history of autonomy and freedom. A history that has been mostly told in politics terms. To take one, for example, the genre of romantic comedy, which emerged from the Greek Menander, could continue with the Romans and flourished in the reassess. Bro, these. Okay, hold up. Teed up. Expressed the claim to freedom by young people against parents, tutors, and old men. While in India or China, love was told in stories shaped by religious values, was part and parcel of the life of gods, and did not as such oppose social authority. In Western Europe and in the United States, love progressively detached itself from the religious cosmology and was cultivated by aristocratic elites in the search of a lifestyle. As a result, love previously destined for God and was the main vector for the formation of emotional individualism. Directing emotions to a person whose minority is perceived as independent from social institutions. Love slowly affirmed itself against the rules of endogamy, against partial parent. Yo, I can't read for shit, guys. I'm sorry. I know it's a struggle. Or church authority, and against community control. In 18th century bestseller, The Julie or la Nouvelle Histoire, it's French, I'm sorry, released in 1761, raised the question of the individual's rights to his or her sentiments, and thus the right to choose the object of his or her love and to marry according to one's will. Interiority, freedom, and emotions and choice formed a single matrix, which would revolutionize matrimonial practices and the place of marriage. Will, in this new culture and emotional order, was no longer defined as a capacity to regulate one's desires, but precisely as the opposite capacity to act accordingly to their injunction, and to choose an object that corresponded to individual emotions as emanating from one's will. In that respect, in the personal romantic love and emotions, because the ground for moral claims to freedom and autonomy. As powerful as these would be in public and the male realm of politics, with the exception that this revolution did not have its public demonstrations, parliament bills and physical. Yo, why are we talking about politics, bro? I thought we're about to learn about like the itty bitty about love and like, you know, emotional tactics. It was led by novelists, proto-feminist philosophers, and thinkers on sexuality, as well as by ordinary men and women. The claim to emotional autonomy contained in love was a powerful agent of social change, altering in fundamental ways the process of pairing up, the vocation of marriage, and the authority of traditional social agencies. And thus, while seemingly private and emotional, romantic love, in fact, contained a political aspiration. The right to choose one's object of love became slowly the right to make individuals' feelings be their own source of authority. Itself, an important part of the history of autonomy, the history of love in the West is thus not just a minor theme in the large-scale fresco of the history of modernity, but was in fact a principal vector recasting the relationship of individuals to marriage and kinship. With dramatic with dramatic consequences from the relationship that marriage had no hetero entertain with the economic sphere, bestowing moral authority to love and sentiments changed marriage, and in changing marriage, it changed patterns of reproduction and sexuality, of economic accumulation and exchange. What we call emotional and personal freedom is a multiform phenomenon that emerged with the consolidation of a private sphere. far away from the long arm of community and the church, and slowly became protected by the state and by privacy laws. It fed into the cultural upfields spearheaded by artistic elites and later by media industries, and finally, it helped formulate women's rights to dispose of their bodies. Emotional autonomy thus contains claims about the freedom of integrity of subject as well. Claims to sexual bodily freedom, even if both types of freedom have different cultural histories. Emotional freedom is grounded in the history of freedom of conscience and the history of privacy, while sexual freedom involved from the history of women's struggle from emancipation and from new legal concepts of the body. Women indeed did not properly own their bodies until recently. They could not, for example, refuse the sexual act to their husband. Damn, really? It's saying here that back then the women had to submit to their husband, like sexual. I mean, that's, hey, bro. Everyone got it right, bro. Everyone got it right. Even you, I look so good right now in this lighting. Sorry, I just it's the first time I'm recording while I'm standing up, so I kind of it's sorry. Okay. Sexual and emotional freedom became closely intertwined, the two becoming handmaidens of each other under the broad category of liberation, self-ownership. The libertarian principle of self-ownership says that each person enjoys over herself and her powers full and exclusive rights of control and use, and therefore owes no service or product to anyone else. That she has not contracted to supply. More concretely, the libertarian principle of self-ownership includes freedom to have and own one's feelings and the freedom to own and control one's body that would later entail the freedom to choose one's sexual partners and to enter and exit relationships at will. In short, self-ownership includes the conduct of one's emotional and sexual life from within the space of one's integrity, without hindrance from this external world, thus letting emotions, desires, or subjectively defined goals determines one's choices and experiences. Emotional freedom is a particular form of self-ownership in which emotions guide and justify and the freedom to have physical contact and sexual relationships with a person of one's emotional choosing. This form of emotional and bodily self-ownership marks the shift to what I suggest calling emotional monetarity. Emotionally monetarity was in the makings from the 18th century onward, but became fully realized after the 1960s in the cultural legitimation of sexual choice based on purely subjective emotional and hedonic grounds, and has observed yet a new development with the advent of internet sexual and romantic apps like Tinder. Anthony Giddens, one of the first sociologists to make explicit the nature of emotional monetarity, viewed intimacy as the ultimate expression of individuals' freedoms of his or her progressive unmourning from older frames of religion, tradition, and from marriage as a framework for economic survival. For Giddens, individuals have the resources to shape from within themselves the capacity to be autonomous and intimate at once. The price to be paid for this, according to him, is a state of ontological insecurity, a permanent anxiety. But on the whole, his much discussing concept of pure relationship was a description and normative endorsement of modernity. Since it suggested that intimacy enacted the core values of the modern liberal subject as being aware of her and his rights, able to implement these rights, most notably in the capacity to enter and exit, choose close relationships at will through an implicit contract. For Giddens, the subject entering the pure relationship is free, knowledgeable about his or her needs, and able to negotiate with another on such needs. The pure relationship was the liberal social contract with right large. In a resonant vein for Axel Honneth, freedom comes to its realization through a relationship to another. Freedom is thus the normative ground for love and the family with the family. Bro, what? I'm not even reading this wrong. It says freedom is thus the normative ground for love and the family, with the family becoming with the family becoming the very expression of freedom realized in a card-carrying unit. Thus, both Giddings and Hawthorne complexify the traditional model of liberalism, in which the self views the other as an obstacle to one's freedom. For both thinkers, the free self comes to its full realization through love and intimate relationships. But as this book is, it hasn't even got started yet, bro. We're talking about politics and shit, bro. Oh my God, here we go. But as this book is set to show, this model of freedom raises new questions. Intimacy is no longer, if it ever was, a process of two fully aware subjects entering a contract, the terms of which they both know and agree on. Rather, the very possibility of drawing a contract or of knowing its terms, of knowing and agreeing on the procedure to enforce it has become distressingly elusive. For a contract to be entered into, there must be an agreement on its terms. It presupposes a clearly defined will of what it wants. It entails a procedure to enter into an agreement and penalty to case one of the two signatories' defaults. Finally, by definition, a contract includes clauses against surprises. These conditions for contract-based relationships are hardly presented in communitary relationships. The institutionalization of sexual freedom via consumer culture and technology has had an opposite effect. It has made the substance, frame, and goal of sexual and emotional contracts fundamentally uncertain, up for grabs, incessantly contested, making the metaphor of contract highly inadequate to grasp what I call the negative structure of communitary relationships. The fact that actors do not know how to define, evaluate, or conduct the relationship they enter into according to predictable and stable social scripts, sexual and emotional freedom have made the very possibility of defining the self-terms of relationship into an open-ended question and a problem. At once, psychology and sociology, not contractual logic, but a generalized chronic and structural uncertainty now presides over the formation of sexual or romantic relations. While we have commonly assumed that sexual and emotional freedoms mirror each other, that they sustain and reflect each other, this book casts a doubt on this assumption and begs to suggest that emotional and sexual freedom follow different institutional and sociological paths. Sexual freedom is nowadays a realm of interaction where things run smoothly. Actors dispose a large abundance of technology, resources, and cultural scripts and images to guide their behavior, to find pleasure in an interaction and to define the boundaries of the interaction. Emotions, however, have become the plane of social experience that poses a problem, a realm where confusion, uncertainty, and even chaos reign. In tackling sexual freedom through the general question of the emotional experience, it generates or does not generate. This study hopes to skirt altogether the conservative lamina of sexual freedom and the libertine view that freedom trumps all other values. Instead, it will engage critically with the meaning of emotional and sexual freedom by exploring empirically its impact on social relationships. Whether endorsed or condemned, freedom has institutionally structure which in turn transforms self-understanding and social relations. This impact might be examined by suspending a priority assumptions from the merits of monogamy, virginity, the nuclear family of multiple orgasms, and group or casual sex. Okay, guys, that's it. That was one chapter. I'm not gonna lie. That one chapter took about goddamn like 20 minutes, but I know it's not 10 pages. It's like 5 back and forth, but combines 10. But hey, that was the reading. So far, my first impression on it, it's not too bad, but they're using a lot of big words that I don't understand. And especially when they started talking about politics, my brain just turns like into a duck. But I'm looking forward to more of the other stuff when it comes to emotions. But hey, that's the reading section for today. Thank you guys for watching the video. It's time to get onto chest and shoulder day. Okay, incline bench, incline press. Not too shabby. I'm not gonna lie, I was not feeling 100% this workout. I was kind of dead, but still kept powering through. Next workout, we are getting used to and getting down the decline bench press or decline dumbbell press. Just trying to make sure that, you know, it's not too bad. I feel like I think I need to use less weight just to really get the form down first. 'Cause I feel like my shoulders are low-key hurting too much, which is not supposed to happen. Now we're doing some shoulder lat raises, not too shabby, making sure that everything is, you know, proper. Always starting off with my left because my left arm is smaller. And then ending off with the workout, we do have shoulder presses. It's not too bad, just some light for me. I mean, overall, yo, I fucking hit my head on that shit. But hey, that's the workout for today. Thank you guys for watching the video. It's time to the picture. I'm looking. I look like a snack. No, yo, You see the abs up there? Kinda like the little outline. Soon, guys. Soon. Onto the lunch. Okay, and for lunch, your boy had the same noodles from yesterday. I had like a bowl of noodles that my dad got. Shout out to my pops. But I split it up. Like I had very small portions. So these noodles are literally the same from yesterday. But you know, there's that. We got one big fish, and we got some greens. You know, some light, staying healthy, low carbs, but overall, you know, small plate. And then for dinner, literally the exact same thing. We have some leftover fish curry, same noodles, but then we replaced the greens with some quinoa salad. So overall, you know, staying healthy, making sure it's all good in the hood, making sure that fiber's there, nutrition, and the protein. But hey, thank you guys for watching the video. It's been your boy Parag. This is day 20. Tomorrow we'll be marking day 21, aka 3 weeks of uploading. And honestly, I'm pretty happy. I feel good that I've been uploading this consistent, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.